In this video, I'm going to introduce you to citizen journalism. You will get familiar with the topic and get to the point where you can recognize it as you go about your everyday lives. All right, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Citizen Journalism Explored, the series that investigates the application and consumption of responsible citizen journalism. First off, if you're watching this video, you're probably asking yourself, what is citizen journalism? Great question. Let's look at a definition. A citizen journalist is an ordinary public citizen just like you or I, with no journalistic background or training, playing an active role in the news gathering and reporting process. This happens outside of the mainstream media. Like I said, these people do not have specialized training in the field of journalism. They are not professionals. However, they are practicing journalism. As one scholar put it, they are ordinary individuals who temporarily adopt the role of journalists in order to participate in the newsmaking process. Oftentimes, this is done spontaneously during a time of crisis, like an accident, tragedy, or disaster when they happen to be present on the scene. That last part has been up for some debate, whether or not an accidental bystander can be considered a citizen journalist. Of this, I mean the people that happen to stumble across a newsworthy event as it occurs. So on the one hand, you have a citizen, not professional journalist, who happens to stumble across the scene of a newsworthy event. On the other hand, again, you have somebody who isn't a professional journalist, but often tries to seek out newsworthy events as they're occurring. For the sake of this series, I'm going to be discussing both. So, where can you find citizen journalism? The internet has made the distribution of information between seemingly unconnected individuals much easier and faster. Social media sites have given users a voice and an audience. It should come as no surprise then that this is the main way that self-produced content can be shared. Sharing photos, videos, reels, live content, tweets, websites, and blogs. You'll find that an inclusive definition of citizen journalism includes those who share their stories and opinions on call-in talk shows, newspapers which publish audience-created content, and even eyewitness accounts on the 6 o'clock news. Mainstream media often refer to this as crowdsourced content. Others have also considered small acts of liking, sharing, or reposting content as a small form of citizen journalism, as the user is sharing content or opinions that they agree with. Keep in mind that these forms of citizen journalism are constantly evolving as new technologies are introduced. So, who are the citizen journalists telling the stories for? These voluntary acts participating in the democratic process of our society often share grassroots movements or political activism. However, we can look even closer to find that these are often stories of neighborhoods or communities. This can be individuals telling the story of their family, their communities, religious, political, or interest groups that all have their place in a democratic society. So I want to go back to the introduction of my video and touch on the fact that I said responsible application and consumption of citizen journalism. With the affordances of modern technology, everyone has the ability to be a citizen journalist. I hope that through the topics and perspectives shared in this series, viewers are better able to share the story of their lives and their communities. So when I talk about the application of citizen journalism, I mean the responsible telling of your story in a way that promotes the democratic process and the well-being and rights for all. When I talk about the consumption of citizen journalism, I'm referring to the act of watching, reading, viewing, or listening to citizen journalists as they produce their own content. I want to get you familiar with how to interpret and evaluate the content, as well as the producer of that content, to see if they're sharing it in a responsible manner. I want you to understand that some content is created with the aim of taking away the rights and well-being of others. Because citizen journalists are not trained, they may not follow common journalistic practices. So some content may be very subjective, one-sided, or even deliberately misleading. When you come across that content, I want you to be able to recognize that. Okay, thanks a lot for sticking around to the end of the video. If you've enjoyed this so far, please check out my next video. It's all on the importance of citizen journalism. Also, please like this video, share it with some friends, or subscribe to my channel. All right, check you in the next one.